Okay, too long didn't watch. The build path is Duskblade, Collector, Rapidfire, i.e., or if you're against tanks, it is Duskblade, Pickaxe, Lord Dom's Rapidfire, i.e. Okay, and the runes you will take every game are Dark Harvest, Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collection, Ravenous Hunter in the Domination tree, and in the Sorcery tree, it's Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm. Okay. Now, I will explain how this build came to be and why we are taking these items and runes, and also how to play the build. But before we begin, let me show you what lethality Caitlyn can do. After all, seeing is believing.
I've been feeling just a little bit low. Got to get back to the show and we'll fly. You don't have to feel like you're on your own. No one should have to dance alone, not tonight. You and me, we're gonna write a little history. You and me, just show me love and then you'll see. Memories that we make, they are never gonna fade for a lifetime. We don't give no shit if you wanna ride away. We just have to find a place that can fuse up in the memory bank.
Alright, so by now you're probably thinking of one of two things. You're probably thinking, yo, this build is like so crazy, or you're probably thinking, dude, he's selling us snake oil, he's fed or like full building these clips. Okay, I promise you, it's not snake oil, okay? I have never seen Caitlyn just 2-tap bruisers or literally kill Ezreal with one auto attack in my life, okay? Until this lethality build came into existence, okay? So, trust me when I say it's not snake oil. In fact, I will open up the oil for you guys to show you what's inside, okay? So, let us begin with how this all started. So, a Discord user by the name of Leonardo Bloom first messaged me probably like 2 weeks ago, and he was like, yo, I've been playing around with the build I thought of for Caitlyn, and he like wrote a post for it on Caitlyn Mates, and I was like, yo, this build, it looked doo-doo. Okay, I'm like, damn, you buying lethality? What is this, Duskblade collector garbage? It looks awful, right? What's the point of this? I thought Caitlyn wanted to get like Infinity Edge as fast as possible at the third item so that she could, you know, unlock her late game potential, right? That's what I thought. So one day I was playing on the gold account, right? And I was like, fuck it, let's just test like a bunch of random shit. We're testing like Wits End Caitlyn, we're testing like AP Kai'Sa, and I was like, you know what, let's test lethality Caitlyn. And we got like we killed bitches, okay? I went 16, 3, and 6. I'm like, okay, you know what, guys, you know, it's just like a low elo smurf, okay? Like, you know, it doesn't mean anything. One game, small sample size. So of course, naturally, I immediately took it into ranked on the mains, okay? And the first game, well, let's just say the first few games, it was kind of cracked. Okay, it was kind of beyond cracked. It exceeded our expectations to the point where I'm like, dude, this is like too good to be true. And it pretty much is too good to be true. Almost too good to be true. Except for the fact that it is true. Okay, guys? So, let me start with a discussion on why this works. Okay. So, of course, Caitlyn players are going to be like, okay, you need crit on your mythic, so that you can get to 3 items, which is your power spike with Infinity Edge. Nothing in that sentence is incorrect. These are all true things. Infinity Edge is a strong power spike. We do need crit in order to unlock headshot crits late game, right? But it's missing a few key factors. So the issue with Gale Force is that when you buy Gale Force on your 1 item spike, you aren't very strong. In fact, that's where the infamous Caitlyn mid-game comes from. Right, you're sitting on 1 or 2 items, and you don't do any damage at all. That's why Caitlyn is not meta. You feel you just don't do damage. You just can't help anything. You can't help skirmishes. And it's a solo queue. a lot of solo queue is about skirmishing. A lot of random fights happen in, you know, pre 20 minutes. And in fact, a lot of these fights decide the game. I mean, if you've ever had a jungle contest crab when it's like not a good timing for whatever reason, that's a way to lose a game. If you ever have a team fight some crazy 4v5, or hell, even just a regular 4v4 at the dragon, 5v5 at the dragon, it's a third dragon, right? That's deciding games, right? In fact, a fast soul can decide games as well. And in all these cases, the normal Caitlyn build will have components of Gale Force, or Gale Force and components of a second item, whether that be Lord Dom, Storm Razor, Rapid Fire, you name it, okay? And it's garbage. Let's just be honest. Like, you don't do any damage. You hit Q, no one gives a shit. You land the trap, no one gives a shit. You auto attack, people laugh, right? The Lethal Temple Gale Force build does absolutely no damage in skirmishes in the 1 to 2 item mark, okay? And when I played the Duskblade build, I found, to my surprise, that we actually did a lot of damage at the 1 item spike. 1 item, 2 item spike. It's actually a little bit concerning how much damage we do. And the big difference in damage does not come from just auto attacking people to death. That's silly, right? It comes from big Q damage and, surprisingly, big ulti damage. Okay, well, what do I mean by that? Oh, well, if you play Caitlyn, you know that your ulti does nothing, essentially. You just, you know, try and shoot at a low HP target, but it's pretty useless, right? With this build, your ulti is a long-range Veigar ulti that can be blocked, but still, right? It's a little bit ridiculous, okay? I guess I can show you an example of what I'm talking about, but let's take a look. So in this clip, I have 3 items with BF Sword, and I'm about to press R on this Vel'Koz here, right? And I want you to take a look at this Ziggs's health. He's like 60%, right? You know, I mean, imagine a Gale Force Caitlyn, you know, with the ulti here, right? I'll probably do like, I don't know, like half of his current health, maybe a little bit more. But with the Duskblade version, he's just fucking dead. Okay, let's take a little look at some more ulti examples. I mean, this one's just a freebie, right? I mean, with Dark Harvest, oh yeah, did I forget to mention? Dark Harvest is also what makes this build possible. You easily proc Dark Harvest on targets with HP that is lower than half, okay? With your Q and your ulti. It's actually really, really strong, especially in conjunction with ulti. Here's another one. Here's a press R on Rengar angle, where Rengar is half HP running away. He just gets deleted, literally. He's just fucking god, okay? And okay, last one. These are quick, guys. These are quick, okay? Last one where we press R on Kayn, also like kind of half health. He's just fucking dead. Okay, these guys, look, well, you understand when you play this build, okay? You actually just slaughter people with R. It's actually disgusting. If they're half health and can't be blocked, you're gonna kill them, okay, with your ulti. Now, that is a huge upgrade from the normal Caitlyn build. You actually unlock an ultimate, because the Gale Force build has no ultimate, pretty much. I mean, it doesn't do anything, right? You also get Q damage, okay? So let me show you what 1 item spike with Duskblade looks like. I mean, let's just open up some examples here. I probably have too much to show you guys right now, but there's like a 1 item spike where we're kind of feeding out of our mind here. It has not been going so well, but as you can see, we are able to do very meaningful damage on the Lee Sin here, and not just the Lee Sin, but also the Jhin. It's a little bit crazy, no? Like, imagine a feeding Caitlyn here with a Gale Force. You're not gonna do anything, okay? Here's another one. Duskblade was ready to... Oh, this one's disgusting. I remember this. This dude actually one-shot, bro. Dude, how is this legal? How is this allowed? This can't be allowed, dude. It's so insane, dude. Do you see that damage? It's so stupid. Shit, let's watch some more, dude. This is crazy. So we're gonna talk about how to use this item, okay? I'm gonna insert this somewhere in the mid-game part of the guide. But basically, the Duskblade, if you so choose to build it, which I recommend, is actually not as easy to use as you would imagine, right? It's really easy to kind of see, right? I mean, you just get a kill and assist and go invisible, but using it is hard because you have time while invisible to set up. And what I mean by that is you can Q from stealth to give them as little reaction as possible instead of just auto attacking to give away what you're doing, right? Some ideas to give you can W from stealth, you can net from stealth, pretty much guaranteed to hit all these abilities, right? and you should use this to the fullest extent. You can even reposition in stealth, okay? So let me give you some examples with Duskblade specifically. So some good habits to build is when you get the kill or assist, let's just chill out for a sec and then consider if you want to use Q from stealth or net from stealth. You want to use something from stealth, preferably not an auto attack, okay? So in this case, you can see that our Duskblade allows us to actually kill Trundle, which is a surprise in itself. And then we walk away from Rengar. Isn't that ridiculous? We walk away from Rengar and we're able to Q from stealth to kill Ezreal as well, okay? Let's look at another one where getting a kill and or assist is letting us get away from a sticky situation. So you can see me fighting the Victor here, and I'm playing this pretty poorly, I'm not gonna lie. We just straight up missed the net. Or you could say he dodged it, right? So here, the Gangplank is on my face, right? And he's about to kill me with auto attack Q, but he can't see me, right? If he had fit that auto attack in there, I was actually dead, no? Let's take a look at another one. This one will be one of the mini montage clips I showed you. But pretty much what's happening here is that when we're getting the resets, this is one of the more recent videos, so I'm using Duskblade a little bit better. But we want to try and make sure that we are not immediately using it. So you can see here, after I kill Lilia, I'm running around, I press Q from stealth. And then that actually baits Jhin into Gale forcing in, and he didn't get the auto since it went invisible. Right after killing the guy with the Q, the guy being Viego, right? And actually, I could actually outplay Yasuo, but I did the mistake, which is break my stealth immediately. Okay, so basically, don't break your stealth immediately. Just run around and figure out what you're trying to do with your abilities. Okay, I promise you have a lot of time when you're invisible. It's kind of funny. And of course, let's have a little fun level 13 clip in here. This is against Eric. I don't know if you guys watched my game against Eric where we're both on Discord and he's on the enemy team. Yeah, this one's pretty funny. Here I'm gonna show you what you know, E Flash can do, because remember, net is a kill. Yeah, we just headshot auto cancel on his dude. Get wrecked, Eric. To address your concerns of, oh, it has no crit, so you can't get to your Infinity Edge at third item. You are correct. You cannot buy Infinity Edge third item with this build. And if you can't buy Infinity Edge third item with this build, then you might be asking, okay, but isn't the point of Caitlyn to hit late game and one-shot people with headshot, right? With Infinity Edge? Yes, except for one small thing. You don't need Infinity Edge. Oh, what? That's crazy. That's crazy talk, okay? If you had told me that a month ago, I'd be like, bro, you've never played Caitlyn in your life, bro. You don't know what you're smoking. But I would be wrong a month ago, okay? The real scaling, or a huge part of the scaling, is not just Infinity Edge. It's actually hitting level 13. If we take a look at Caitlyn's wiki, it says that her headshot damage is increased based on level. And in fact, the benchmarks for the levels are level 1, 7, and 13. Okay, so level 13 is when your headshot is at its absolute strongest. Okay, and the way I want you guys to think about it is we are 80 Kassadin, except it's level 13 instead of level 16. Okay, we are 80 Kassadin. Okay, if you don't believe me, I have prepared all these examples for you guys. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples with level 13. Okay, so here's a good one where we are 3, 6, and 3 in this clip, and low CS. Okay, we are feeding out of our mind in this clip, and in this case, we have the Duskblade Dirk Lord Dom RFC build. Okay, and we have no Infinity Edge, in sight, right? So let's take a look at how much damage we do here. Let me just show you guys. So yeah, as you can see, headshot does 850 on Ashe, literally half her health. No Infinity Edge, by the way. Okay, now this just shows that IE is not exactly the most important part. Oh my god, look at that headshot crit on Graves. That's just, I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys, but like, I think it goes to show that Infinity Edge is not, in fact, the most important part about Caitlyn scaling. It's, in fact, the level 13 and the fact that you can crit. Okay, that the headshot can crit. Okay, those are the most important components of Caitlyn's scaling. Okay, so when we refer back to our original build, we're talking how Caitlyn doesn't scale unless she has Infinity Edge. I don't think that's true at all. Okay, we scale when we hit level 13, and the point of this lethality stuff is so that you can get to level 13 reliably. You can increase the power of your early mid game so that you can get to level 13 before the game is over. Before the game is decided, you can get to your strongest point in the game. That's the idea. That is the whole premise of the build. Okay? We buy the early game stuff so we can get past the mid game safely and get into the late game. And now you might ask, okay, but what are some sacrifices we're making with this build? Aren't we taking like suboptimal runes for the setup? Let's tackle the Dark Harvest part, right? What are we losing? We're losing Lethal Temple, and Lethal Temple for laning phase specifically, right? Where if you hit them with a Q or an auto attack, you get that Lethal Temple proc you can push, right? And you might be feeling like you're losing power in laning phase because you have no Lethal Temple. Let me show you some examples of Caitlyn without Lethal Temple. We'll have Dark Harvest here, of course. Let me show you some Dark Harvest clips in laning phase. And also, let me show you how the laning phase goes when we are able to buy Duskblade components, which are so much stronger than Gale Force components, right? Gale Force, you got like Noon Quiver, Pickaxe, Cloak. Duskblade is Serrated Dirk, okay? Serrated Dirk is king of the early game. It is so strong. And you can see I am killing this Draven, no problem. I don't need Lethal Temple, right? It's fine, right? And you're like, oh, maybe they're trolling like the level 1 or whatever. I mean, let's just look at some more examples, okay? You will find that we are not lacking in the damage department somehow. That haven't really mapped it out, to be quite honest, but somehow we're not really lacking in the damage department, right? We are fighting these lane fights totally fine. This was an example of us having Serrated Dirk, with the Warhammer, right? You can see that our we are able to do damage to Ziggs totally fine. Actually, that was a fat Dark Harvest proc. What the hell? Honestly, it's more than I expected. I'm not gonna lie. It seems a little funny, but basically our damage is loaded onto when we kill them. The damage comes out when we kill them, which is the important part, the burst, the unexpected part, right? And the best part, it just easily procced, okay? But the best part is that it resets on kill and assist. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Resets on kill and assist. You know what? It resets on kills and assists. Duskblade resets on kills and assists. Dude, this one, okay, this clip has to convince you. Did you see this Draven get one shot? Dude, he is dying to my EQ. Let's watch this again, dude. He is literally 70-80% health, dying to one EQ combo. Bro, what? I have a Dirk and 2 longswords. How is this allowed, by the way? I don't even know how this is allowed. The damage is a little bit disgusting, okay? So yeah, those are just my examples for the laning phase. You are in fact not losing that much power, if any power at all in the laning phase. Okay, the Dark Harvest when the Dark Harvest procs, you are getting that damage. Do not worry, And the build path is better for laning phase. Okay. All right, so I'm kind of doing this this guide haphazardly, but let's take a look at what makes this so good in the mid game. Okay, the first thing I want to point out, which is how we kind of are fine-tuning the build, is Caitlyn's ability to clear minions fast in the mid-game. Okay, so normally when you play Gale Force Caitlyn, we are Q the wave and you auto-attack the melee minions and you auto-attack the range minions, and then that's how you clear the wave, okay? With this build, we hit the melee minions once and then we Q and get everything. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at that. I'm just gonna press Q here. Everything's dead. Okay, and this is partially due to the Caitlyn buffs, the Q buffs that happened on the last patch. I think it was like the patch before or something like that. But yeah, that definitely helped in us being able to Q and one-shot all the minions. Now, if you are wondering why we are taking absolute focus on Gathering Storm, this is actually exactly why we're taking these 2 runes. These runes help you give enough AD so that you can clear the range minions throughout the entire game. Okay, and you might be wondering, okay, but we're like kind of out of mana a lot with this build. We have no presence of mind. It's very true. You cannot spam Q with this build. When you're like half mana or less, you need to start conserving Q. Otherwise, you will in fact run out of mana and you can't get it back. Okay, and the second one is there's no sustain from Bloodline. Right, but that's why we take the Ravenous Hunter, right? So I have tried the Presence of Mind Bloodline and taken Ultimate Hunter instead, but I think it's suboptimal because we can't wave clear in the mid game. Okay, and also for build specific stuff, let's talk about build specific stuff. The reason why this build is good is because to get the amount of AD you need to clear the backline minions, not only are we taking absolute focus and gathering storm, but also we're building Duskblade Collector. Collector gives 55 AD. Okay, and with these two items, we're actually able to clear minions throughout the entire game. Now, if you want to do the Lord Dom route, because they have tanks, you can't just do Duskblade Lord Doms. The reason being that Lord Doms does not give enough AD. Let me show you. Lord Doms, lol wiki. And Lord Doms gives you 30 AD compared to the Collector's 55. We're missing 25 AD. And if you want to see what that looks like, let me show you what it looks like. It's like 27 minutes, 25 minutes into the game where we actually are unable to clear the wave. Let's take a look at what we are at. What is this? 26, 27 minutes in the game. We have Duskblade, Lord Dom's Rapid Fire. So we're missing the usual 25 AD we'll get from the Collector. And you can see as we clear these minions, we have Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm turned on, but it's not quite enough to one-shot the ranged minions, okay? It will one-shot up to like 25 minutes, 26 minutes, but not being able to one-shot at this stage of the game feels really bad, okay? And that's why if we want to do the Lord Doms route, that's why I suggest you take Duskblade into the Pickaxe plus Lord Doms, and that will give you the 55 AD that you would have if you had gone Collector. And you might be asking, okay, what are we building this pickaxe into? It's building it into an Infinity Edge. And what are we losing by having a pickaxe early? Well, you lose the getting the Zeal faster. Oh, that brings us to our third item in the build. Rapid Fire Cannon. The reason why Rapid Fire Cannon is in this build is not because of the Rapid Fire Headshot, which is pretty insane, okay? It's because if you don't have a Zeal item in this build, you actually cannot move around the map. It's actually really funny. You're so slow. So slow. Let me see if I have an example here. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah. We are so slow. It is actually kind of crazy, right? Being this slow is like not okay at a certain point in the game. Like you will not be able to rotate to fights or objectives or be able to kite out any sort of engage mid, right? You honestly can't fucking move, okay? That's why we are building the RFC second and not something like, I don't know, Collector plus Lord Doms or another AD plus crit item like Essence or something, okay? That's pretty much the reason why. But if you think that the move speed is not worth it, then by all means, go for it. You don't have to buy the Rapid Fire if you don't want to. But yeah, as I was saying, the pickaxe is delaying our Zeal by 875 gold. But I think it's well worth it if we need, for the wave clear, right? And, it also builds into an Infinity Edge. I used to build just a serrated Dirk in the mid game after Duskblade, and then I just skipped Collector and I went like, Lord Dom Rapid Fire. But I think this pickaxe idea is better because it leads into your Infinity Edge more, just like naturally, right, on your fourth item. Okay, now that the build kind of makes sense, right? Let's take a look at some alternatives, right? So why Duskblade? Why not like Eclipse, right? It's because Duskblade has more playmaking and more damage than Eclipse does. Actually, we did in fact test Eclipse, and it is not bad. Eclipse is not bad. It's just that it lacks the damage that Duskblade has. Not like upfront damage, but rather reset damage and the reset playmaking, the invisibility that Duskblade has. And I think I value that quite highly. But if you do want to take Eclipse, I think you would take it in cases where you need the sustain. Okay. One lethality item we haven't mentioned is Prowler's Claw. I don't think Prowler's Claw makes too much sense considering what we're trying to do here. Remember, these lethality items exist for us to abuse to get past the mid game so we can access Caitlyn's level 13 late game power spike, right? So buying Prowler's Claw for the idea that we want like the lethality mythic passive associated with it kind of doesn't make too much sense to me, because we can't really use this active too well. I mean, you don't really want to be like melee range to dash to someone, right? I mean, I don't know. You can be cute and like try and dash at someone and net them in the face, I guess. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really tested it because I don't even think the idea makes sense. But Sumi, okay. Another alternative you could do to the Duskblade first is Serpent's Fang. This build has been showing up a little bit in Korea, but I think the Duskblade is super important. Okay, so let's take a look at the mid game next. So remember, your goal with this build is to get to level 13, and by doing that we must get as much XP as possible, I should say. And the easiest way to do that is to just clear every single wave that comes to your lane. Usually we're sitting mid, right? So as you're clearing mid with this build and you're one-shotting the ranged minions, you are going to see fights break out around you, and usually I'm gonna say like most of the time, like 80%, 90% of the time, I want you to clear the wave before you go. And the reason is that you need the XP. You're Cassidon, just Caitlyn, okay? We're level 13 version of Cassidon. That's AD with headshots. and it's also super fast for you to clear the waves. So, you know, you just clear and go, okay? And when you're going to the fights, there's two things you're gonna look for. You're gonna look for ulti on a half HP target or less, so you can proc Dark Harvest, or you're gonna look for, and you're gonna look for Q. Some fat Q, okay? And your net and trap, you know, they do damage, but the whole point is for those abilities to set up your Q for now, okay? Your playstyle will change at level 13, but we'll talk about that later. So here's some examples of the mid game when you're moving to fights, and you can see that we are always, you know, looking for the R, and then we're gonna look for a fat Q, okay? I want you to think every single fight with 2 items. These 2-3 items, we're gonna look for fat R, fat Q, and this is up until level 13 with headshot crit. Okay. Oh my goodness, my headphones died there. Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this one. So you see us clearing the way first, and then we're gonna look for a fat ulti on a half HP target or less. He just dies, and then yeah, I mean, that was your contribution. Congratulations, you are winning the mid game just by just by killing random people with ulti. Honestly, it's great. And then here, I mean, you can see us finishing people off with Dark Harvest. It's actually amazing how much value Dark Harvest tends to get in the early mid game, and even the late game when we are one-shotting people. Let's take a look at this one. I mean, it's all the same thing, right, guys? You just press R on a low HP target, and then, you know, it doesn't get blocked, so you kill them, and then you just look for a fat Q. It's all the same. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. And here you can see us prioritizing the mid wave before we go, and you see how fast we're actually killing this. We actually just like you're actually kind of like, you know, clearing it like pretty fast. Like, I don't want to say as fast as Ziggs and Saber, but, you know, as fast as Ziggs and Saber, right? So it pretty much, you know, makes your mid game decision making super simple. You just get the wave, no problemo. Here, I mean, we actually kill assassins, guys. They don't kill us with this build. Let's see some more mid game. I have infinite examples, okay, guys. I mean, I have infinite examples. Trap will do a lot in these fights. You want to wait until you're 13 spike and then start playing around trap headshot crits, and also start stacking up passive on the wave. We haven't really talked about that yet, but we'll get to that. Basically, you want to when you wave clear, right? An easy tip is when you wave clear, you want to make sure that you are ending with a headshot. Okay, by the time you have cleared the wave, you're going to have headshot ready. Yeah, look at this fight here. This one's a little disgusting. All right, I mean, this build is especially good with, of course, people who can activate your trap. I mean, look at I mean, just look at this guy. So I just know he's dead. Like, he's just I don't know what to tell you guys. There's no crit involved. They just die. If you hit a full on Q and a full on trap, they are died. I'm not even level 13 in this. Let's see some more. I think seeing these mid-game examples are really important because this is going to be the hardest part of your game. Even though the whole build is revolved around making your early mid-game stronger, it doesn't mean that your mid game is amazing all of a sudden. It just means it's passable, right? So yeah, navigating the mid game is the most important part about this build. You need to find a way. I cannot stress this enough. You need to find a way to get to level 13. I don't care how you do it. If you don't do it, you're not going to carry the game. And this build is, not really going to work, right? All right, let's see some more examples where we hit fat Q and then, I mean, this is all the same, right? Fat damage, baby. He's just that dude. Okay, I mean, this is a crazy example where Victor is literally dying to ulti. Did you see his health, dude? Dude, how is this allowed? Guys, how is this allowed? I don't know what to say. I mean, shit, I guess level 11 is a spike for your ulti. I don't know what to say. Like, this is just crazy. Oh, this one's great. I mean, he just steps on a trap and instantly dies, right? I mean, dude, this is the power of the mid game. They step on a trap, you can actually punish. I think with Gale Force, you do like half his health there, right? But with this build, you kind of kill him there. Okay, I think that's one of the main differences that's converted me is that when I actually land my abilities, I actually do damage. Seems like how the game should work. Versus Gale Force, I hit my abilities in the mid game and I do nothing. It's like kind of boring, honestly, kind of weak. So yeah, this build is just I don't know what to say. It just scales just as well, equally well, and it's just stronger early mid game. I don't understand why you would go Gale Force over this. I mean, okay, I mean. This example is just the upper end of what you can do. Okay, I mean these they die in one auto. Okay, I mean I've never seen this shit before until I started running this build. But yeah, I'm sure you guys will all experience this when you get to Infinity Edge, right? And that segues us into the late game. Okay, so let us show you some 3+ item examples, and the way we're gonna be playing this is a little bit different. Okay, so before in the mid game, we're really focused on landing our Q. Really focus on landing a Q. A Q is pretty much most of our damage, besides a nice trap, right? Now, late game, there's a consistent way to one-shot carries. I'm gonna teach you two right now. You get headshot off the wave, you hold headshot off the wave, you run around with rapid fire cannon, and then you kill someone, okay? And this is the strat. That's it. That's the strat, okay? Besides landing nets and trap, which is your next focus, you really need to land net. Net is going to kill someone, okay? Net is going to do 1,000 damage at this point with Infinity Edge. So you need him, and trap is going to kill, okay? Trap is lethal, net is lethal, headshot passive is lethal. I want you to think that. And ulti is lethal. The only thing that's not lethal is Q, okay? So when we get to level 13 with your big items, especially with Infinity Edge, I want you to focus on stacking your passive on the minions and holding it. And what I mean by holding it is you get your passive, then use your abilities on the wave so that you don't have to use your passive headshot. And in that way, you can run around with your passive headshot, like you can see me doing here, and you can actually just one-shot someone, the first guy you see. And you can see that, Fiddle lost, he's just dead, okay? And ulti is also lethal, like I said. You just ulti any backline at this point. I mean, he just lost all his health. Ulti almost one-shot him, right? That's kind of ridiculous. Of course, we also go for the trap on GA, trap on Zanya, trap on terrain, any way you like it. EW combo, right, is also really good. But I want you to think, one trap is 1 kill, one net is 1 kill, holding passive headshot is 1 kill, okay? This is how you carry with this build, right? And I guess if you're feeling yourself, you just kill someone with auto attacks. This is just some more late game examples, the upper end of what you can do with this build. Like I said, run around with passive headshot, headshot them in the fountain, I guess. This is the ridiculous example I showed you guys in the beginning. So yeah, this is pretty much exactly what I've been talking about, except this one's a little bit concerning. I have no idea how we are killing tanks in 2 hits, or I should say bruisers in 2 hits, but this is, there's no way I should be able to fucking, did you see, how did that Renekton die? That's ridiculous, right? So yeah, this build just works. And if you guys are like, what about tanks and stuff? Let's be honest, no, tanks are bad. Tanks are bad in this meta, okay? It's just bruisers. Here's an example of when we're losing with this build. And, the play style is, we aren't 13 yet, so, it's going to be Q and R, the usual, right? The usual suspects. And we're just going to play it super slow. And we're just going to look for the EW. All right, we can just kill the Ezreal there. But yeah, traps are also very good at any stage of the game. Just more so when you have 2 items and more. Okay. But yeah, you can see us Didn't even have level 13 there. No problem. Oh god, did you see Asana die? I hit level 13 in the middle of the fight. Boom, trap is lethal all of a sudden. Okay. Last few examples. I don't know how many of these we're doing, but I'm trying to keep the guide to like less than 30 minutes, so I'm sure we'll cut a bunch of these. So you can see here, we start the fight out with the headshot, and we just try and just we're just insta killing Senna almost, right? That's kind of how the fight breaks out. The fight's pretty much in our advantage ever since that, right? You see us hitting minions. I should not have dumped that headshot. That was a really bad mistake. Dumping a headshot onto the minions is really bad. Trapping a TP though, that GP is just dead, right? Netting Fiddle, he's also dead. Okay, so one headshot is 1 kill. Okay, guys, one headshot is 1 kill on a carry. I mean, this guy's just dead. I mean, Q is a kill too, apparently. But yeah, you can see us try to net the action, but he ran away. So we just flashed with the headshot, no problemo. Okay, so if there's anything to kind of take away from this build, it's that the mid game needs to be played in such a way for you to get level 13 as fast as humanly possible. And we do this by clearing the mid wave over and over again. If fights break out, we help with ulti and fat Q damage. And then once we hit level 13 with Rapid Fire and Infinity Edge, or just, you know, it doesn't have to be Infinity Edge yet, then we start looking to hold a headshot on the minion waves. And we need to have a huge emphasis on trap and net. Okay, and if there is a combo you want to practice, you should practice EW combo. Going to be one of the most important Caitlyn combos for you to know because it has the most playmaking potential. Let's see, maybe we will watch one more. Maybe we watch, let's take a look at this one. You can see here, we had headshot being held from the last wave, and we're just going to target someone. I mean, in this case, Sona almost instantly dies, right? I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of funny. I don't know if you guys are laughing, but I'm laughing at how much damage we do with this build, right? And let's watch how we approach this. Of course, you can't, I mean, you know, there's some ADC, non-Caitlyn specific stuff, like, you know, watch the cannon in the bush, right? That kind of stuff. But I'm sure you guys can do all that. Just make sure you know that net is your answer to their engage or trap, right? Trap the hourglass, no problem. He's just dead. I mean, if they get trapped in the mid game, they're dying. Okay. Wow, we are doing an absurd amount of. Oh, check this out. Oh my god, Ezreal ease in. 1 net, 1 kill, level 13. Okay, guys. 1 net, 1 kill, level 13. Honestly, if we had LDR there, maybe Trundle dies to ulti. Yeah, definitely a consideration. Oh yeah, one thing I need to teach you guys about this build is that until you have that Zeo, you are super vulnerable in the mid game. And vulnerable positioning wise, you actually have no move speed. So usually at this point you would have like a Gale Force where you can dash out and have that 3% extra move speed when you complete a second item. But with this build, you cannot move until Zeo is completed. So it's really important to like not move so much. You know, we're just clearing mid waves until we have infinite gold and XP, right? But yeah, be very careful with the positioning, more so than not. You will find yourself getting caught if you are on deep in enemy territory. Look at this. This Jhin is actually just running me down. I can't do anything, right? There's just no way for me to escape. He's just 2 times as fast as me, right? Stuff like this will happen to you quite often, especially in fights where you have miscalculated and you realize you need to run, except to find out it's too late, okay? So you need to be very careful with how you navigate the mid game. I can't stress this enough. So yeah, there you have it. This has been my Caitlyn guide. It's been a little rough, you know. I kind of ad-libbed pretty much the whole thing, but hopefully you enjoyed / learned something / are going to get some free LP. And okay, let's not spread it too far because we don't want Riot to nerf this, and I don't want my main being picked, you know, against me. That would be a little bit unfortunate. It's already happened once where enemy Caitlyn built lethality against me. So I got owned, right? So yeah, let's keep this one to ourselves, guys, right? Don't you know, abuse it while you can, okay? Thanks for watching. If you guys have questions, I probably forgot. I feel like these things can't be like perfect, but if I have forgotten something, I will answer in the questions in the comments below. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope I will see you guys next time.